Okay, I'm supposed to take this, and then I'm supposed to take this. Both two really cool things, and if you put them together, they can be interesting. Wait, they want me to put it where? That's not a thing, right? You know what? On the other hand, don't tell me if that's a thing. Some things are best left untouched. So yeah, Blockers is the movie about three parents who happen to drop off their kids to kindergarten on the same day, and the kids automatically form a bond. Skip to high school through a montage to high school prom, and the parents have to get together. Each parent has their own deficiency, like Lisa, played by Leslie Mann, is worried about that her daughter, Julie, is going off to college, and she's a divorced mom. She had to raise her more or less the whole time herself, and she's afraid to let go. The other part is Mitchell, played by John Cena, afraid that his daughter, Kaylin, who is played by Guinevere, and I don't know her last name, and I'm not going to try to pronounce it to not butcher it, is perfectly fine. Him and her have a great relationship. They're mostly sports buddies, i.e. playing into John Cena's strength as this hulking dude. And then we have the third parent trio, which is Hunter, played by Ike Barinholtz, and his daughter Sam, played by Geeson. I can't remember her last name, but basically Hunter and Sam are an estranged couple. Hunter was kicked out of the house, or him and his wife separated. Sam has a new stepdad, and her mom and her dad don't see eye to eye on anything. And basically what happens is the three kids happen to make a pact to say that we're all going to lose our virginity on the prom night. The parents find out, and hijinks ensue. I'm not going to lie, this is an R-rated comedy that I looked at, and I didn't have a lot of high hopes for, because in this day and age, in all honesty, R-rated comedies are usually just R-rated because there's a lot of cursing and a lot of it's unneeded. And this wasn't. This is actually a really good movie. This is a really funny movie. It's an interesting look on the becoming of an adult trope through women or through girls instead of through boys. So it's a welcome relief, and this is a much better made movie than something like Ghostbusters 2016. And I actually like the dynamic and the changing of dynamic. There is a lot of this movie alike. It wasn't perfect. It had its issues like anything else. Some of it was a little bit more glaring than the rest. Like the whole dynamic between the three parents was really interesting, and it could have been seen as something as, we're going to say, oh, the parents are right, the kids should not lose their virginity and whatnot. And they actually didn't play it towards that. And I think that was all thanks to the unsung star of this movie, Ike Barinholtz. Ike Barinholtz, to me, was the MVP of this movie by far. Not only did he have to play against his type, because his type, he usually plays as goofy, over-the-top characters in most of the stuff he does. Suicide Squad, The Project Mindy, things like that. Here he was actually, for the most part, the straight man and the most rational person in the movie. Not only was he the most rational, he was the most relatable, at least from my side of things. And I kind of feel his character was not only the one that went through the most character development, he went through the best arc, but I also feel he was the character that was shunned the most in this movie, which is kind of sad to think. And because he's usually just the one playing the comedy parts. Because I think Leslie Mann's character really didn't do much, and a lot of her jokes, not that it didn't work, but especially when you go into her backstory. Okay, I understand where you're setting a character up to do something and you say, oh, this is how we're going to do it, and this is who this character is. And, you know, movies like this, they do it while someone's telling a story about their friend, who they have to ask you about their friend and whatnot, while not saying it's them. This movie, several times with her character, she does that story. Oh, this happened to this person, and then at the end of it, like we're fucking idiots, has to look at the camera and go, oh, that was me. We're not that stupid. We know it was you. And she does that a couple of times. That's why her character, even though I think among the parents, she's the one who's supposed to, we're the ones who's supposed to sympathize with her the most, but we actually sympathize, or at least I did. I didn't care for her character. She was actually the least interesting one of the three. John Cena's character is fine because he knows what he's doing, and he does what he does best. He plays against his type. He is this huge monster character, huge muscles, freaking, and you don't realize this on watching him on wrestling, because you're watching him on a big screen and you're watching him without a shirt on next to other people who are large characters. But when he puts on regular clothes, like he puts on his flannels, he looks humongous next to the rest of the cast. And I get his story arc. He's the one who's the most in touch with his daughter, and he's afraid to lose that. And he plays once again against type because he's supposed to be the big brolic man, and he's the one who's actually the most sissiest. And he actually does well in that part. His comedy, for the most part, are really well. I still have huge problems with his facial reactions. I don't think he knows how to tone it down. He knows straight face, and then he knows over the top. And sometimes that over the top just makes me roll my eyes, because like, don't try so hard. Pull it back some. Of the three girls, the main girl, I guess, Julie, who is Leslie Mann's daughter, she's the one who I think is supposed to be the main character, but once again, she's the least interesting one. Kaylin, Ike John Cena's daughter, she's actually the most interesting one, and she's the one I actually want to see most in a movie next, because she delivers the best lines. She has the most screen presence of all the three girls, and once again, I like her through line the best. Like, her storyline is the best. There are a couple of times where I don't know, maybe it's just because I'm getting old and I don't like vulgarity as much, or at least vulgarity that feels like it's just there to be there. Like, there's a joke really at the end where I'm not going to say what it is, I don't want to spoil it, where she starts saying something, starts giving analogies, and I go, okay, I got it, and then she has to say it right to the audience. Once again, we're not that stupid. I will give a lot of credit for Sam's character, because Sam's character plays a lesbian, and once again, this goes into the whole Hunter, Ike Barinholtz character through line that, like, to me, he should have been the main character. He had the best story, and I kind of feel bad that he got neglected the most by not only the movie, but by the other two parents, Mitch and Lisa, which kind of makes me feel like they should be dicks, but at least the movie's clever enough not to hold on it too much and to make the other two parents likable. This is a really funny movie. It could have been one that just sat there and rested on being an R-rated, raunchy movie. But it didn't. It actually made it made some good jokes. It had some likable characters. I think some likable characters that even they didn't know they were going to have. And it was an all-around fun time. I would love to know what other people thought of this. I will say this, and this is just my thoughts on R-rated comedies, especially in this day and age. In the 80s and 90s, when you saw an R-rated comedy, you knew you were going to get cursing, and you were going to see women's breasts. I don't know how I feel about it in now. When you see R-rated comedies, you are going to have cursing. One, you're going to see a whole lot of male ass. I'm all for equality, but can we please tone it down on it? And something that we really shouldn't be seeing in R-rated comedies nowadays is fucking penises. And there's a scene specifically in this movie where it's like, it took me out of the movie. It made me feel uncomfortable. And if you want to say exploitative of women in 90s and 80s, it never went to this level that we're going to in our comedies nowadays. Not to make a political statement, I'm just saying we need to get away from this condensation or condoms. But if I was to give Blockers a score, easy 7.4. Really good, really fun. And oh, here's one more thing. P.S. Fucking John Cena, stop showing us your ass. We got it. And by the way, the ass chugging scene is not as funny. I don't think it was ever really was funny. And I think there was so many other better ways to see movies like Beer Fest on stuff you could have did that were much better than that. That's all I have to say. Did you see Blockers? What did you think about it? Let me know in the comments below. If you like this video, hit the like button, hit subscribe, and I will be seeing you with another movie review later. Bye.